Is there anything, you brought up the bus station area, is there anything that can be done in that area to enhance it a little bit better? Is that under your purview?
Well, it's one of many. We are partners with ATA, we're partners obviously with the federal government, with the city. We really need to be thinking together about 4th Avenue between William and Liberty. With the ATA, the Transit Center, moving to 5th Avenue, it's one more blank spot on 4th Avenue. There
Right.
really are no active uses. The only restaurant that was there has been sitting somewhat, empty.
Right.
And then you've got parking structure, blank wall of the federal building.
By the way, we want mods back, just for the record.
I'm with you. The ribs, I could taste
I
the
know.
bacon that you just said. Wow, I could taste it. But it's challenged by all the first floor uses that don't exist. You can make it pretty with banners and trees and so forth, but there's still no reason to be there. It's boring. And so until we can figure out first floor uses, I'm not sure we're going to get there. So what our part of it is, we've been exploring through our Connecting William Street project how to add first floor activity at the 4th and William garage. It's a big garage. Take away the 4th Avenue parking spaces of the garage, insert like high-tech office, incubator space, or something like that.
Great solution.
Because people coming in and out of that space let you know that people belong on 4th Avenue.
Right.
It's a piece in a puzzle. We can't do it all by ourselves, which leads to the YMCA lot. The former YMCA lot was held a building for a while.
This is directly across the street from the Ann Arbor District Library.
Exactly.
Now, what's going to become of that?
Great question. So this last year, again, the DDA engaged with the community on a planning effort. Again, we call it Connecting William Street. 5 parcels that are city-owned. Thinking of them together, we can do more than on any one site. And what we heard again and again were all the elements that are going to be needed to make make William Street active sidewalks. We need reasons to be there. We need places for people to live, places for people to work. The YMCA is a key piece in this because it's across the street from the library lot, now called Library Lane. It's across the street from this 4th and William build-out that we just described. A block away from what we all refer to as the Polio lot, which is one of the other lots. And then it's also just a block or so away from what we call the Klein lot on Ashley.
Right.
The 35,000 square feet of the YMCA lot has been put out to a broker and said, how can we market it? How can we accomplish our goals as a community? So the city has engaged the uses of a broker who will be out promoting the purchase, the sale of this, with guidelines sort of established through that Connecting William Street process, also the feedback from council, what it is they're hearing from their constituents that they want. The sale will of course hinge on council approving the eventual, whoever buys it. And what we're hoping for is a mix of uses. We're hoping for a building that at least faces a significant portion onto William Street, has an awareness that it has 3 street fronts, William, 4th, and 5th. So how does that building then activate all of those street corners? Mix of uses means also a mix of activity during the day part. So if it's residences above and office below, the library then has people there on the sidewalk at night because the library's open until 9. We'd like to be sure maybe there's activity there. Maybe it's a ground floor restaurant. So all of those.
Is there a time frame on this sale portion of it? On this?
The goal
I
the
assume
city
it's an
gave
RFP
itself.
of some sort, right, for the land?
Not yet, no.
Not yet,
At
okay.
this point, it's just looked to be sold just outright.
Just outright, okay.
The city and the DDA co-purchased it, and we have a bank note that is up for renewal or not in December. So our hope is to have some decision around that parcel before it comes time to renegotiate on the bank note. So December is really the guideline.
Have you had a lot of people interested?
Well, I can't speak to the broker, but in my office, I've certainly heard from quite a few who are wondering when it was coming, where it's coming. Downtown property is rare, and especially one that's just a block off Main Street and 3 blocks to campus. As desolate as Williams sidewalks feel, it's an incredibly good location.
Susan Pollay, she is the Executive Director of the Downtown Development Authority here in the city of Ann Arbor. Damian Farrell from Damian Farrell Design Group. And it's Damian on Design on 1290 WLBY on the Lucy Ann Land Show. You mentioned the Klein's lot, and I happened to have parked in there just last week, and some of the restaurants and shops have doors that you can get in from that side, but not all of them do. And I couldn't figure out if there was any easy way to get back to Main Street from there, unless you go all the way around the block on this side, on the south side, or on the north side you have to go through the alleyway to get up there. We need to do something to make that more vibrant, more.
You are hitting a Damian Farrell point that he made that I have carried with me
Really?
for 15
My
years.
Ally or Ellie program.
Damian, you go ahead. I have thought about this for 15
Really?
years.
What is
yeah.
that, Damian?
I studied in the city of Durban in South Africa and grew up in that area. Durban is a wonderful example of how this works. All these major streets and these blocks are broken up by these alleyways and arcades. Some of them are open, some of them are enclosed, some of them are probably 10 to 12 feet wide, some maybe 20 feet, but all pedestrian. And these are the places where the small retail and the small office, this, you know, we've talked about the shoe repair and the hairdresser and the mani-pedi place, you know, but this is really where these kinds of businesses can exist.
Sounds like mini Nichols arcades all over
Exactly,
town.
that's exactly what
Yeah,
it is. The
that's
city of
exactly
Durban,
right.
and I think part of it, in that very severe summer climate, it enables you to cross blocks and do your shopping and so on in shade, because often the air conditioning will spill out, and so these places become very desirable. And Ann Arbor has this network of alleyways. Now, it's rough here because there are a lot of transformers back there, and our trash is there.
And
But-
they use them for the vehicles to
Yeah.
drop off supplies. So.
But I think what you're talking about is a classic example. There are these opportunities to come in and out of spaces, back and front.
Yeah.
Now, some retailers may not like that. I understand security issues, but it can be done. It can work. If large cities like Durban can handle their trash and still get people up and down and bring in what I would call, you know, say Class B, Class C, and I mean that from a cost point of view, your rental. So if someone wants to rent 150 square feet, those are the kinds of spaces that you can front onto alleyways. They don't need to be paying $24, $38, whatever it is, dollars a square foot.
More cost effective for
Much
those
more.
businesses.
So I've had this Ally or Alley thing in my head.
And
It
that
makes
helps
total sense.
that helps diversify business, because we
It
can't
does.
all be restaurateurs. We can't
No.
No.
all be.
But the cost for the rent is tough. The other
Right.
reason
Yeah.
why I think it's smart is a lot of our spaces downtown are long and linear.
Yes.
Very, very,
Very long,
long.
yeah.
And if I'm a shopkeeper, that back area probably is storage because it's just too long
Yeah.
for the customer to make it all the
Yeah.
way back. So if I were to sublet the back portion to someone who fronts on an alley, they get
Exactly.
value for the dollar.
Good point. I like
And
that.
the thing that I think that has been hinging on this is, yes, you said the service, the transformers, the delivery. Much of the work, though, in those alleys happens in the morning.
Yeah.
If we had sort of a game plan, we could have the deliveries, and then starting at, say, 10 o'clock, all of that's gone, and now those alleys now become, and we've repaired them with concrete with this goal in mind. Back to Damian's idea, they become our mid-block pedestrian walkways.
Right.
Well, and you know, the DIA helped to start this with the artwork. Wasn't there a piece in the alleyway? I can't remember where. One of the
Yes.
pieces they put out there.
There was on a couple of the alleys.
Couple
Yeah.
of
And you
them.
could
okay.
really
Yeah.
see the value of these alleys as being pedestrian
Yeah.
cut-throughs. So in the morning, between 7 in the morning and say 10, they serve the deliveries,
Yep.
the trash pickup and so forth. And then they could get their second life, which is at 10 o'clock on, they become the shopkeeper,
Right.
the shoe repair, the places that can't afford
Love
the
the idea.
premium rent.
Love it.
Oh, Wilkinson's Luggage was an
Absolutely.
example. When that was
Yes.
on Main Street, you could come in from either
Absolutely.
side as well. The maternity store that was there, do you remember that?
Yeah, well, I think
Yeah.
Connor O'Neill's often has a back
They
door
do.
open.
Yeah,
Oh,
Connor's.
yes,
And
absolutely.
shopkeepers are smart. If there is a benefit, they're going to do it.
They're gonna do it, you
And
bet.
our job as a DDA is to think about ways to make that alley more pleasant. There is a back door, for instance, off the 4th and William garage that faces that alley. So a lot of the businesses on Main Street have back doors into that alley. And our job is really to think about ways to make the alley better so that they may then reopen their back doors.
By the way, if you pick up a to-go order, say from Connor O'Neill's, and you're in that Klein
Yeah.
lot, they let you, no cost for the parking on there. I think it's less than 15 minutes or something.
The grace period is absolutely designed for that because we
Fabulous.
know that
Laying
you
it out,
need
yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
need that.
Well, I love what Ann Arbor's doing. I think it's great, and a lot of wonderful things that you have been putting together here, and a lot of futuring that's been going on. I mean, it's a tough issue, isn't it?
It is, and I'd like to give a shout out to the community of Ann Arbor. We're very participatory, and I think that I don't know if many remember, but Main Street was noted by the Planners Association, American Planners, as being a great Main Street, one of the great Main Streets of America. And that didn't just happen. It's because people played a role in the planning Planning is never done. It's iterative. We get smart, and then we put it into action, and we say, oh, you know what, we should have changed this or that. So we go back again.
You have to live the
You
experience.
have to live
Yeah,
it
you
to
do,
see
yeah.
it. And I think that as a community,
mold
we're,
it, yeah.
we're learning the vocabulary of architects like Damian. What we were challenged by 10 years ago is, oh, it's too tall, it's too tall. Well, that was our word for ugly. That was our word for too bulky. That was our word for too...
Very well put.
Yeah, and now we're learning your language. You're helping us to understand how to describe for you what it is we want. And that's iterative, too.
Yeah.
Designing Ann Arbor of the Future. Thank you so much, Susan Pollay. She
Thanks.
is the Executive
Thank you,
Director
Susan.
of the Downtown
Always.
Development Authority, and Damian Farrell from Damian Farrell Design Group. You can visit the DDA's website at a2dda.org for more information about the projects the Downtown Development Authority is working on. Another Damian on Design coming up next week right here on the Lucy Ann Lance Show, Ann Arbor's Talk Station, 1290 WLBY.